Welcome back, CoastLife. I'm Charlie Sakaitis.
And I'm Leah Rizzo. We are hanging out here at the Milton Theatre, which has been a cultural hub for the performing arts for many years. And A Chorus Line, a Tony Award-winning show, is celebrating 50 years.
And we're about to talk to a couple of the actors. Let's see where it goes.
For 50 years, the show A Chorus Line has been dazzling audiences curious about behind the scenes of Broadway life. And now, that show is coming to Milton Theatre. Cast member Mia Mitz tells us why the show is 50 years strong.
I play Diana Morales. She is a Bronx girl, native New Yorker. She is eager but experienced. She loves what she does and she really wants this job in this audition we were doing. I think A Chorus Line is such an important show because it really tells the story of what we do as actors so the audience can see what happens behind the scenes before we actually book the job. And I think it's just such a classic spectacle and it's so great to do anywhere but especially here.
So for you and this character, are you like this character? Are you the opposite of this character in real life? How do you connect?
I feel like I am very similar to this character. I feel like she is very passionate about the work that she does. She's very passionate about her love and compassion for others. We really grow as a community in this line that we end up being in because we're spending this whole day together doing this audition. So we end up being very close. And I see myself a lot in this character. It's been a huge dream role of mine since I was very young.
Yeah, and I think you touched on it a little bit already, that I think everybody in the audience will be able to connect to some of these characters that they're seeing perform on stage. But for you guys as actors that have, this is a dream that you've been chasing, what is it like to perform a show like this where you're sort of, is it kind of like a meta effect of playing actors all with the same dream? Yes,
absolutely. I feel like, I've dreamed to do this show for so long. I feel like so many dancers and actors have. So many people in the cast have done this show so many times. We have someone who it's his 4th time doing A Chorus Line. So yeah, but I think it's a very surreal feeling to be showing what we actually experience before we are booked in a show and be able to show an audience like, okay, this is what actually happens, even if it's a little exaggerated. We don't break out into dance numbers in the middle of an audition usually. No, not every time. No, but I think it is a really good glimpse into like the emotional up and down that you would feel when you are going through an audition like this.
Well, thank you for telling us your part of this story, but there's more actors to talk to. Nikki Cater also in this great show. Tell us a little about the role you're playing.
Absolutely, I play Mike Costa in the show. He is super eager and super ecstatic, a little bit nervous at first when asked some questions, but when asked about how he started dancing, he gives the story of how he watched his sister dance and he said, well, I can do that.
Now, I understand, your character has a really big tap dance number in the show. What is it like working in a space like Milton Theatre? It's a little bit smaller, it's a little more intimate. Are there some challenges in that, or is it kind of both a really exciting challenge?
I think it's a really exciting challenge. Especially for I Can Do That, like movement isn't a huge issue. Like I can stay pretty much in one area. I travel a little bit here and there throughout the number, but luckily with tap, it's more about just what's under me. So it's a great time. It's a great challenge.
Good. And tap is a skill. So how long have you been doing this?
I actually didn't start until college. Unlike Mike, like he started at age 4. I didn't start until college. I was terrified of dance all through high school when I was doing musicals. I just wanted to be front and center singing. I didn't want to dance. But then when I got to college, I was like, well, I've got to learn. And my first ever college class was a tap class, and I fell in love with it.
Nice.
Well, it's a show that's going to be a lot of fun, I think, for people to come out and see. And we're going to show you guys a little bit of what's going to happen on stage in our next segment. So don't go anywhere. There's more CoastLife after this.
Well, CoastLife, before the break, we were hanging out at Milton Theatre to celebrate 50 years of A Chorus Line. It's going to be an incredible show, as is every show here at the Milton Theatre, but this one is a particularly special one. We've got director and choreographer Jessica Bostock joining us. And from a director's point of view, what is it about this show that, makes it so special and why it's had such staying power for 50 years?
Well, what makes it so special is it really pulls the curtain back on what these actors go through in order to have the life they have, the dedication, the variety of stories that lead them to that place, and just what they're willing to sacrifice. And that, regardless of what time period we're in, everybody, especially in the industry, can relate to that. And it's really a pared down show. We don't rely on, fancy costumes and big special effects, but we're really just telling their stories in a very raw way.
What's it like to kind of be the choreographer in a space like the Milton Theatre, which we love so much, but I do know that it can be a little bit of a challenge sometimes for dance numbers.
Yes, and this musical is unique in that most of it is not my original choreography, but it is Michael Bennett's choreography. And so staging that with the amount, we have to have a large cast because that is what the show calls for. So staging it in a small space has been a challenge, but a fun challenge. I call it forced creativity. And we really fill up the stage with all their incredible dancing of this talented cast.
Yeah. You mentioned the talented cast. What is it like to work, with the group of people around you? I know that you sort of started in dance, then musical theater, now sort of through the eyes of the director to kind of help this next generation of upcoming actors.
That's my favorite part of it. And it's really exciting to work with this general age group because getting to work with them through this process and help create a supportive environment that they can really flourish in. And that's what this show is about in so many ways too. So it's very full circle, and we're still in tech rehearsals and we already have very emotional moments. So,
I bet.
Because it hits so close to home for all of us.
Yeah, and I think too, as an audience member, you're going to get a little something out of this, whether you have a theater background or not. I think at the core, the show is about being brave enough to chase those dreams. What do you think audiences are going to get out of this sort of peek behind the curtain and what the process is like for actors and dancers when it comes to auditioning for a show?
Yeah, I think that was the main impetus for Michael Bennett to create the show, is that you see, no matter what you see on stage, you're seeing a finished product, but everybody has this long, complex story behind them, and they've sacrificed a lot, and I think most of us can relate to that in some way or another.
Well, I know it's going to be an incredible show. It always is here at the Milton Theatre. Where can people go to get tickets? Because I know they're going to go fast.
Yeah, the website is the best place to go.
Perfect. Well, Jessica, thank you so much for being here today. Thank you so much for being a part of the show, and I know the Milton community is going to have a really good time with a chorus line.
Thank you so much.
Of course. We've got more Coast Life coming your way. We'll give you a minute to get those tickets at miltontheatre.com. But again, there's more fun for you when we get back.